Hi, and in this really quick video on professions, I'm going to run through the main attractions for different crafting professions. Now, in Battle for Azeroth, it makes no difference what professions your characters currently have, as it provides no advantage for the next expansion, now that profession skills have been separated out by expansion. If you have a maxed out blacksmith for Legion, they get no advantage in blacksmithing over a character who has never been a blacksmith in Battle for Azeroth. In this way, it has never been easier to swap around professions according to which might be most beneficial. One thing to note here is that I'm not going to go over every little thing that each profession brings. I'm going to cover the showpiece items which may sway your opinion. Now, when it comes to those who can craft armour pieces, so tailors, leatherworkers and blacksmiths, and to a lesser extent engineers, it is all about the gear. All of these professions can craft a couple of items of item level 355 epic gear. Now, to put that into context, that is the equivalent of normal mode Uldir gear. Now, in order to craft this, you are going to need a number of reagents, as well as the usual reagents for crafting with that particular profession. You're going to need Expulsum and Hydrocore. Expulsum is a little bit like a Blood of Sargeras, but you get it from different sources. It's bind on pickup, so you cannot just buy these reagents off the auction house. The way you get them is by breaking down gear. In your main city will be something called a scrap bot, and you can put gear in here. But it doesn't just have to be crafted gear, though it can include crafted gear. It can even include gear that you've got from questing or from dungeons, for example. You're not able to break down any gear that you've bought from reputation vendors, but any gear that you've acquired from most other sources can be broken down for raw materials and a small chance of some expulsum. Hydrocore is obtained from dungeons and is also bind on pickup. So, normal mode Uldir gear, that sounds quite good. Get the dungeons going. We might be able to craft some of that by the time normal Uldir comes out. But, you know, I'm a proper raider, and very quickly I'm going to be getting gear from those dungeons that's going to be equal to or higher item level. Is it really worth the effort? Well, you can also craft higher item level versions. You can craft a 370 version, which is the equivalent of heroic Uldir. You can even craft 385 versions of this gear, which is the equivalent of the mythic gear, and if you get the right stats on it, could well be better than anything you are going to get from those mythic raids. In other words, what you're talking about is crafting what may well be for you the best gear in the game. However, to craft the 370 or the 385 version, you are going to need another reagent called Sanguicell. This is only obtainable from the raids itself. When you kill a raid boss, you get a certain amount of this reagent. You will get more of it on mythic mode, of course, and as you can probably guess, crafting the 385 version of it requires a silly amount more Sanguicell than crafting the 370 version. It will take a very, very long time for a heroic raider to be able to craft the 385 version. So professions which craft your armor type can be a useful way to get a couple of raid quality pieces, not only in time for when the raid opens, but even continuing while you progress through it. The materials are bind on pickup, but so are the end products, so you also can't just have someone craft it for you. You are going to need these professions if you want access to them. And as I say, depends on a little bit of luck, because of course you are going to need to farm quite a lot of these bind on pickup reagents to be able to craft them. It's not like you can craft 10 in a row and hope you get haste crit or whatever it is you want. But if you do get lucky and get the good stats, then yeah, you could be crafting something that, other than I suppose something very close Titan forging, is going to be the best that you can get. In addition, it's worth also pointing out that tailors are able to make spell threads which they can use to enhance their cloaks, works like enchants, but only they can use them. They can also make bags as usual, but don't expect an expansion of your inventory space, as the largest is just a 32 slotter. Now, many of the essential patterns can be made without quests, unlike Legion, so in theory you can have a level 110 alchemist, scribe, etc. do the starting stuff and then parked in the main city while you feed them materials. But ranks are still a thing, and you do need to get off your arse and rep farm, amongst other things, for those higher ranks if you want to be able to make those items for fewer mats. Now, professions in BFA get a very healthy mix of different types of product. As well as the more obvious products for their craft, you can make follower items for missions. For example, alchemists can make a follow item that has a chance to net you some herbs when they return. Speaking of alchemy, there is a cauldron right from the start in BFA. It is bound on accounts just as with Legion. However, you don't get rank 2 or 3 by crafting a load of them. Once you have learned the rank 1 pattern from the trainer, you have a chance to get the rank 2 by running dungeons. Rank 3 drops in raids, so Uldir to begin with. Now, as well as the usual products you'd expect, including scrolls to provide a weaker version of the class plus brought by warriors, mages and priests, scribes can also craft contracts in BFA. You will be wanting to get these. Using a contract means that you will gain reputation for the appropriate faction every time you complete a world quest. This is bonus rep, and most min-maxers will be wanting to get the contracts for Champions of Azeroth, for the Azerite helm that you can buy from Magniat Exalted. Being able to craft contracts early, and Champions of Azeroth ones in particular, is likely to be a license to print money. These are consumable and they last a day, so people are going to be wanting to buy them on a regular basis and buy plenty of them. Dual crafters get to craft an experience gem, which increases the experience you gain by plus 5%, which is likely to sell very well initially. As might be expected, engineers can craft a range of goggles, and at higher ranks you'll be able to get special engineering type devices on these, such as being able to throw bombs and so on. However, it occupies an Azerite piece slot, of course, with the helm, and what you'll be wanting to do, at the very least, is race towards Champions of Azeroth Exalted, as I've just said, to get yourself a nice, tasty, high item level Azerite helm. So how useful engineering is going to be realistically for your main character is a matter of some debate, and you are very likely to be better off with a crafting option for your armor type. Of course, it's possible to take both. The enchants of note will be on weapons and rings. Enchanters have access to 3 wrist enchants which only they can use, but they are not a power upgrade. The choices are all related to hearthstoning and so suit my paladin well. You can reduce the cooldown of your hearthstone, give yourself an absorb shield while you hearthstone, or increase the speed of your hearthstone cast, but they only work on Zandalar or Kulturas. There are also enchants to gloves which increase your crafting or gathering speed. So the only enchants that are actually going to be important for the strength of your character are on rings and on weapon. So that's my brief rundown of the showpiece products of the crafting professions. So what do you want to do? Make a load of gold early on, get your character geared for the opening of Uldir, supply everyone with potions, flasks and cauldrons. How you see the benefits of professions may well determine which you choose on which characters. If you do want to see a comprehensive list of patterns for the professions, then Wowhead is a really good layout for it. I've put a link in the description below. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to click the like and subscribe button, comment down below and share with others who may also be interested. And until next time, I'll see you later.